Hey folks, Dave the Not So Evil Viking 13 here, and I am back on Pleasure Island, formerly known as Spectacle Island, to continue working on my death arena with the Wasteland Workshop DLC. I'm actually back here in the main part of Pleasure Island, so you guys can see the advertisements that I've put up for the arena. I asked you guys in the comments for last time to come up with suggestions for the name, and my favorite suggestion, among quite a few good ones, was from commenter Ryan Johnson, who suggested The Cage. You can see right there I've got a little advertisement over here in the main part of Pleasure Island where you can earn caps and fame in The Cage. Now, I went with The Cage because it fit in really well with the other kind of punishment systems here on Pleasure Island. You can see we've got another advertisement right here on the beach pointing the way to the cage. If you've seen the main Pleasure Island tours, you'll know that Joel, the NPC that controls the island, has tiered punishment systems for rule breakers and murderers. And that includes this one right here, which is the pit. It's a work camp where you go if you break the rules. The cage is more like a gladiatorial arena. It's not so much for punishment, but it's also a way that you can get rid of pesky trespassers and just entertain your guests here on Pleasure Island. Now, as you guys can see, a lot has changed here at the cage, and what I'm going to do in this video is show you guys how all the systems work now that everything is actually controlled in the control room, and then we're going to do some decorating and detailing to finish off this build. Let's look at how that works. At this point, you can now control basically everything from here in the control room, overlooking the cage itself. That includes the lights. Hit that switch, and all the spotlights come on. And it looks like one of our cage doors opened. And there's a gunner with a cloaking device. And the spotlights have locked on. Well, this was an unplanned breach, so I'm going to activate the security systems on the walls. And that takes care of that. I'll have to go back and trace those power lines and make sure that I didn't accidentally connect that gunner's cage to the spotlights, because that was suspicious timing. The wiring has been a bit of a nightmare because a lot of the conduits and even like the neon lights and stuff have wireless power that can cause all kinds of havoc if you're trying to just have certain things powered by switches. I'm using a mod that lets me place conduits that don't have wireless power, but even then I've got lots of power bleed from things like cages and, like I said, things like neon lights. It's really made it a bit of a nightmare to keep things separate and on their own power grids. Okay, I'm gonna leave the power turned on there, and I'm making a quick save because we're going to do a test of the full arena system. Even though we've lost one of our competitors right there, the gunner's definitely dead. What we're going to do is release, I think, some hounds, some raiders, and some ghouls, and then finally our Deathclaw. And as you guys can tell from where the gunner's cage is, I have moved most of the Bethesda Workshop, Wasteland Workshop DLC cages to the main arena itself here in the center of the cage, just because those nice organized prison cells that I had created, the AI was just too dumb to pathfind their way out of it, and most of the time they wouldn't even like fight up here in the loading dock area. They would just get stuck in their cells, and no one could actually attack them at all. It was super glitchy, so for the most part I have moved those cages out into the main part of the arena, and I'll show you guys how it all works later. But for now, it's time to have some fun with all of this wiring. Let's start with our bell to start the fight. That rings the stoplight that we placed last time outside. You guys can see one of our advertisement signs here. The Cage, Honor and Blood. Before we start this fight, I'm seeing some spectators show up down here, so
Yes.
it's one of our guards. I'm gonna go down here and actually hop into the arena, and I'm gonna place some protective glass over the windows up here, just so that the spectators can't shoot down into the arena, because I haven't found a way to prevent that just yet. Also seeing that one of the rad roaches got loose. Let's just solve that little problem. Hop down here. Okay, there's the bait cage, which has the rad stag. And there's the death claw up there. There's our gunner that escaped. I'll have to come back and trace that power system and make sure that it's not actually connected to the light system. Let's focus on that glass, though. I'm going to use, I think, some metal windows. There we go. That's actually going to snap really nicely. Okay. That should hopefully prevent my own settlers from firing down into the arena. And hopefully that's all I actually need. Let's make sure that no one else has gotten out up here. All these cells are empty for now. The hounds are still in their cages. All the doors up here are secured. Lights are on. Let's get out of the arena, guys. Just as soon as I take all this guy's stuff to sell for more crafting supplies. Thank you. I've created a staff exit here with a security door next to the bait cage. And in my imagination, at least, I have the only key to this door. There's no real way to do that yet. And then I also imagine that I would have a kind of password or something on this terminal that you have to enter to be able to activate the switch to get out of the arena. And of course I have a pressure plate system now, so I can just open those doors easily from the outside. Let's focus on our fight, guys. And I'm just going to open up all of the cages and let everything go nuts. Let's activate the saw traps. Their sound was already glitched. And there they go. New quick save. Well, let's activate... let's start with the bait, actually. There goes the bait. Then the hounds. And our extra ghoul. Our gunner cage. Our raider. And our original ghoul. And there they go. Oh, the raider just got completely gibbed by that ghoul. You know what, guys? Let's release the death claw as well, and then go into free cam to watch this chaos. Ooh, one of our guards is actually in there fighting, and here comes the death claw out of the death claw cage. Oh, they're getting torn up. Ghoul just lost an arm. One of Joel's enforcers is in there with his sword, fighting the Deathclaw. Gotta move that outside turret too. It's able to actually shoot in through that window just a little bit. Oh, okay, Ghoul is down. Thankfully the settlers can't die, otherwise this guy would be super screwed. Okay, the Deathclaw has unsurprisingly defeated basically everything else in the arena, including the mutant hounds. So I'm going to go back to my character here and activate the wall defenses to finish off the Deathclaw. And down he goes. Let's cut off the saws here for a second and deactivate the defenses. So as you guys can see, we have a fun little death arena. It is pretty expensive to repair those cages though, which is why I quick saved before I released all of our creatures for the fight. I also really like this NVIDIA physics-based debris. It looks pretty awesome after a fight. Toss a grenade down there to watch it bounce. All kinds of rubble all over the place. That's pretty awesome. And there's Joel's Enforcer with his sword. There's bits of ghoul, I think, rolling by. Man, that Raider and that Gunner, they got absolutely destroyed. But like I was saying, guys, we've got a pretty good system here, but it's a little bit simple. So before we go on to the decorating and further stages of construction for the detailing of the cage, I want to do a real test of this fighting arena here at the cage. I mean, it's got all these awesome traps and all this space. We got to put it to good use. So I'm going to use console commands to spawn some guys to actually have like a real fight here, to really just go crazy. So I've just turned AI processing off, which will let me spawn 2 different sides of AI creatures to fight without having them kill each other immediately as soon as they spawn. I want to have a bit of control over it. And I think what I'm going to do is we'll do some Deathclaws versus some super mutants. That sounds like a pretty good fight. I gotta actually hop down into the arena through the trapdoor, get these guys spawned in. I'm thinking I'll just leave Joel's Enforcer down here. He can be a part of the chaos. We'll do super mutants down here, and you guys can see up there on the wall I have placed some blast shielding where the reactor is, because I discovered very quickly while testing this out earlier that enemies with grenades can very easily destroy the reactor just by tossing grenades up through that open window. Okay, there we go. We've got 12 super mutant enforcers that I am now stuck inside of. Next up, I'm thinking... Ooh, watch those traps. I'm thinking 3 Deathclaws. Let's make sure that that trap is still ready to actually be activated. I noticed that this trap, for some reason, gets stuck a lot of the times, so... Oh well. I'll just leave it for now. Let's do glowing Deathclaws. There you have it, guys. We're ready for the fight to begin. Let me just get out of here before I toggle the AI back on. I'm going to activate our saw traps and then go into the free cam so we can enjoy the fight. And they're already wanting to start. So let's toggle the AI on, activate the saws, and here we go. Wow. Now, seeing we're up here in the corner, I've got to activate our traps because that flamethrower right over here is going to be absolutely perfect, timing-wise. Activate the traps. There we go. Flamethrower and Tesla coils are firing. Back into free cam. I think one of the Deathclaws just died. Or lost his tail or something. Two Deathclaws down, and a few of the super mutants. Wow, they have defeated the Deathclaws, and now they're shooting my spotlights. Wow, that was unexpected. What can we spawn as Joel's poor enforcer out there goes down again to actually defeat these guys? Maybe a swarm of ghouls. Or even better, guys, how about a swarm of gunner robots? Let's see if I can turn the AI off here for a second. Nope, they're still going to be hostile. So I am going to use God mode here just for a second. I'm not going to save or anything. Just so I can hover out and spawn these next guys, because I can't stop the super mutants from going crazy while I'm trying to spawn some of our bad guys here. And that is awesome, an explosion frozen in time. Let's do some Colonel Gutsies. We'll do 4. And then back to the control room we go. Ooh. We can turn no clip and God mode back off. Here they come. Whoa. They're actually fighting the enforcer down here. And one of the saw blades has actually been destroyed. Up here by the super mutants. These super mutants are a lot tougher than I expected. But the Gutsies are giving them a run for their money, even with the enforcer trying to take them out with his sword. And there goes one of the Gutsies. This guy is fearless. And more settlers are showing up to join the fight. And not doing very well at all. Talk about some serious chaos here, guys. Just bits of death claw everywhere. We've got 3 super mutants left. Oh, make that 2. I think it's time to give our enforcer some help here. Let's shut down the traps. Looks like the enforcer finished off the last super mutant, but I am hearing more gunshots. Oh, a Gutsy got out of the arena. Let me get my M14 here. Let's finish him off. Level 92. Still alive, huh? Time for the fragmenting shotgun. Actually, I don't want to destroy the electronics inside the boat. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! Is he gonna self-destruct? Did not like that noise. Yep, he self-destructed in the boat. Well, so much for protecting the electronics. There you have it though, guys. That's a pretty solid test of the cage. Radstorm has come in just in time for us to overlook the aftermath. I don't think anything hit the traps down here in the lower corner, but overall that was a pretty vicious fight, and for the most part the walls did manage to keep the fighting inside, and the reactor never actually got destroyed thanks to our new blast shielding. So, now that you guys have seen the arena in action here at the cage, I'm gonna go ahead and load that quick save back, and we're gonna go in. I'm gonna show you guys how I set all this up, how the wiring works, and then we're gonna do that last bit of detailing. For my immersion's sake, really, and decorate the food service areas, some of the traps and waiting areas up near the control room, and basically give this build its last bit of polish. There we go, and we're back. The saws are turned off. Let me show you guys how all of this craziness actually works. I've got one of Bethesda's new reactors here. You guys saw that last time. That's providing 100 power, and the wiring splits off from there. The weapons on the wall are powered by 2 separate runs of wire going out this window, and I used the Place Everywhere mod here on PC to just glitch the wires right through any windows or walls where I needed them. If you think about it, in real life, wires go through walls. That's how they work. And although I can't recreate how that would actually work in real life, I can just glitch them through, and that's what I did. Back here you can see that the top run, which is the outer defenses for the wall, ends right here with this laser turret, and then 2 runs continue, one of them being electricity for the spotlights, which I'm going to actually leave on for now, and then the other run goes to the turrets in the cage area. Let's take a look at our main control panel here. And these are still labeled C1, C2, C3 for the cells, although they're not really for the cells anymore because, like I mentioned earlier, my idea of those nice organized prison cells just didn't work functionality-wise. The AI just can't handle that pathfinding to get out of that last door. G for Gunner, R for Raider, no, actually G for Ghoul. I might want to put a GH on that. Gun for Gunner, an empty cell, which is why it's powered down to keep the door closed, and our hounds, and our final set of ghouls, and I think I actually added an insect cage onto that too. That last one marked ghoul is going to be that insect cage and that ghoul cage right there. Thank you, Spotlight. Cut right through the fog. Here's the main power source coming from the reactor to power all of the switches, and again, I'm using a mod that lets me place conduits that don't have wireless power. So most of these will be power conduit, no wireless from that mod. Just because in wiring this, I had to do so much back tracing to figure out where electricity was bleeding from one thing to the other. And all of these feeds for all the cages are carried via telephone poles, or utility poles I guess, out to where they originally were placed, which was in here in the prison cells. These guys are floating again. Let me fix that. Whenever I fast travel and come back to the area, they're floating. But I like those guards. Again, you can see some of the custom textures I've created for the cage, honor and blood. Don't wait for the draft, volunteer. Just felt like it fit. And for all of these power doors, I've done pressure plates to make it easy to access the inside of the arena. Go on over this way, and you guys can see how the power does continue over in this direction. And here's where it starts splitting off on the last pole. And I'm not going to trace all this because it's honestly a huge mess from where I had to move all of those cages from the prison area. But you guys get the idea. Each one of the cages has its own separate power feed, and I did leave power going to all of these prison doors as well, just so that these switches still work. They don't really do anything right now, but I'm going to leave them here just for my immersion, I guess. Uh-oh. Oh, that switch is actually connected to the Raider pen. Didn't realize that would actually cause it to open the cage. I'll put him down. Okay. This switch is still a extra control for the spotlights, but this main power feed for the spotlights is connected to our moving spotlights in the main arena back to the control room. So if I leave this switch turned on and green, when I hit the main light switch, these will turn on as well. I just left this box back here for extra control if I want it. Let's see, these feeds right here go to, I believe, yep, the far wall right there. And then down to the hound cages, protected by the extra Tesla coil if I activate the cage defenses up there. And then another one of these feeds, I believe the one up there, goes all the way over to the Deathclaw cage, which is now, of course, facing the center of the arena because his AI would get him stuck up here in the cage area. Let's close that door back up, head back down the stairs. I've gone around the arena and added plenty of slightly ramshackle cage neon signs just to add that extra bit of advertising. And because this is our loading dock area for getting things like death claws that have been captured into the cage, got a nice big crane here. I'm going to add some more details to the loading dock at some point. But there's also now a neon caution loading area sign, which I put just on top of, I think, like an armor sign. I originally wanted that neon sign up here on like a piece of plywood over the loading door, but these neon lights have like a 2-tile wireless power area. So by placing them up here, they were providing wireless power to like everything in the cage, and it just completely wrecked all of the switch controls. So I had to move them way off here just so these lights wouldn't cause everything to get powered constantly. I've also now added another switch right there to access the prison and the cage area. Nice Deathclaw head there on the wall. Let's head around the side here. You guys will also notice I've gone around and added some extra just structural support, just again for my immersion. I think it looks nicer with an occasional extra bracket to hold up these gigantic walls. Gone through and added some bits of electronic and ductwork and wiring and air vents and whatnot to help break up the monotony of the plain concrete walls. Let's go up into our guard tower here. This up here is more or less the same as it was. The defenses really haven't changed too much. You guys can get a good look at all of the cages that are attached down there. Thinking that I must have accidentally powered up some of those cages with the lights. I'll have to backtrace that wiring again. I'm going to actually scoot back this way and we'll take a look at the back side of the arena. Got some more pipes and whatnot just for extra detailing. I've added a dock-like platform back here for, I think that's a ghoul cage. Completely enclosed it. The cage, honor and blood. And some more piping and whatnot, possibly for, you know, drainage if the flooding gets to be too much. And some more structural support here in the corner, some more piping, and the killer be killed sign. As we come around to the spectator area, this is where I have built up some extra little cubes to hold the actual cages that release our captured, helpless raiders, gunners, ghouls, whatever else we want to fight in the arena. This is really the only place that I could figure out to place them, and it works pretty well. So the spectators will actually be right over top of the containment cages, but that's kind of awesome actually. Not really an issue for me.
We had a good supply of clean water.
I'm gonna
It'd be pretty good.
duck up here to the guard tower where our guard is stuck trying to get up the stairs. All the NPCs hate my pathfinding in these things. I'm gonna drop down into the arena so you guys can see how the power comes across here and links up with everything. Now, where I'm wondering there's a problem is with, again, the lights. Ow. Nothing wrong with that trap. Let me scrap that one. That's totally broken too. So let's see, that goes up to here. That's got 3 connections. Okay. One of those connections goes over here to this cage, which is intentional. That's what it's supposed to be powering. And the cages actually don't have power right now, which is a good sign. Go ahead and repair those cages. So what that tells me is if the lights are on and yet those cages don't have power, then there must not be a cross power issue. I must have just accidentally hit a switch or something. Okay. Oops. I accidentally just released the bait. Sorry, buddy. What I meant to do was check the power on, I believe... should be this ghoul switch right here. Let's toggle that. Guys, I have so much wiring, it is a bit mind-bending. Let's hop down there and see if it's got power now. That should be the switch that is controlling. Ow. This cage right here. Oh, yep, it worked. The ghoul is loose. I don't want to use explosives and damage stuff, so... He also seems to be stuck in the wall. There we go. Hey, at least the Deathclaw is still in his cage. Seeing he got stuck, I'm gonna pull his cage out just a bit. With the lip off the edge, hopefully he will drop down and not have that issue for next time. Everybody else seemed to do pretty well with the cages. I just had some control issues with when I activated them. But they all have power, it looks like. Scoot you forward just a bit too. Gotta love that I have one of these wall saw blades right next to where the raiders are. Let's take all this to sell later, again, to craft with. I buy tons of shipments of supplies because I go through so many resources building these monstrosities. Copper-wise, I would bet I've spent 1,500 copper on this arena so far. Okay, everything looks good up here. The empty cells are open. Might add some crappy mattresses to those. See, I can't actually use them for the cages. But yeah, guys, I am liking the functionality of this. We tested out the red versus blue settler fighting system earlier, so I'm going to not do that right now. What we're going to move on to next is a detail stage. We're going to make a food stand, a concession stand, for our spectators. And I mentioned last time I've kept a bunch of these trees as part of the construction, as if they've almost used them as extra supports. And down here is where I want to create the stand for our concessions. Let's see, resources and then stores, because I'm using settlement keywords. Restaurant, bar, drink stand. Make sure that snapping is turned on. There we go. Yeah, this works, guys. It actually fits underneath. Okay. I also want a piece of countertop, and I think a stove as well. I'm gonna place a bell up here just in case I need to gather everyone who's nearby. Let's see, I need to go to, not farming, but workbenches. There I can find a nice cooking stove. Put you in the back corner here. That smoke's gonna go like straight up into the air through the grate. So again, just for my immersion's sake, I'm going to create a fake smokestack out of metal piping. There we go. 3 steel each. Turn off snapping here. Object snapping back on. That's done again with the place anywhere mod. Now I can just glitch this, or just leave it. That's a pretty tall smokestack. Wait, did I miss it entirely? Sorry guys, I know the game's kind of shadowy right now. Yeah, I missed it entirely. Let's just lower that down. I'll turn on my Pip-Boy light. There we go. Now I can see what I'm doing. Let's see if this will actually snap. There we go. I'm gonna tilt it just a bit because it's colliding with the tree. Oh, I don't have my auto hotkey set up for the console adjustments. I can use my auto hotkey script here to hopefully adjust it, although it's wanting to... Yeah, it's wanting to just select that stupid stoplight. There we go. Some slight adjustments. Again, just to make it look like it's not sticking right into the tree. That's a nice crappy smokestack. I like it. I'm gonna place a countertop, a short one, down here as well. Let's find a nice worn out piece of countertop. Something short, I think. That's too undamaged. Here we go. Diner counter. And we even have an end cap, if I can get it to fit. Let's see, all kinds of pieces. That end cap is wanting to snap at a weird point. There we go. Yeah, the snap point is not quite on target for that, so I will just fix it manually. There we go. So we've got our drink stand and our food prep area back here. Could probably use one more section of counter. Gonna glitch that into the floor just a tiny bit. I'm now just realizing that they really don't have a roof over this. I might replace this floor section and that floor section with something that's a bit more not see-through, I guess. The rain's just going to come right down through that. What do we have for wood floors? We've got glass. That doesn't really fit in here. I think just some nice wood should do the trick. Make it a deck, basically. Okay. Let's fix our stoplight. Store that floor for later. There we go. Now our prep area is at least covered. Not really liking how that stoplight is glitching through, but oh well. Okay. Before we decorate that, I want to take a look at our trapdoor room, which you guys saw me use earlier. I was trying to think of a good idea for what to do for this, and my favorite idea actually came from the comments on the last video. I'm going to look it up real quick because I want to give credit where credit is due, because this is a fantastic idea. Here we go. In the comments on the first part of this build, which you guys can find linked in the description, Chaz Miller suggested that I put a free money bucket over the trapdoor. I almost fell through. And I really like that idea. So what I'm actually going to do is make like a little fake living room with like a reward money bucket. Joel being a bit twisted and scheming would definitely have it set up like this, where you think you're getting rewarded and then you just fall right through. So we'll put a nice rug down, and then nice new couch. I'm sure he could afford one. All that money he's making from Pleasure Island. Yeah, that's a pretty nice couch right there. I'll put it on the outside. And before I place a second chair, let's go ahead and put our table down. Gotta make it a real nice looking table though. Maybe this one. That one didn't fit super well, so I'm gonna go with this nice table right here instead. Scoot our couch back just a little. Put a fancy table here in the corner. Did that just glitch through? Yeah, it kind of did. I was gonna say, why are they so different in height? It's really hard to get where I could see that without falling through. Okay, there we go. I'm trying to figure out how to light it without using electricity, just because the electric in this arena is so carefully arranged that I'm afraid to actually place real electric lights in here. So instead I'm going to place a fake light using the OC decorator mod. Should have some lamps in here somewhere. There we go. Blue table lamp. Very fake. I'll put it over here. I think I'll put some actual candles down on the other table. I'm not actually sure where the new workshop DLC candles are. The ones that I just passed are from a mod, I'm pretty sure. The Bethesda ones look a little bit nicer with some nice kind of wax effects for them. I'm not entirely sure where to find them, so I'll just place the modded candles for now. Do a couple of them like this. Turn my Pit-Boy light off there. That's very nice. I think a nice chair would wrap things up nicely for our furniture for that fake room. We'll do a modern chair. Make sure it's not floating. Okay. Let's do some decorations now. I think a couple of really nice paintings would do the trick, and that little game freeze there reminds me it's time to save. Let's see, we'll do a nice, pleasant boat painting. And then on the other wall, perhaps one of the modern paintings. Yeah, this one right here should do the trick. I can just get it to go without falling through the hole. Actually, I kind of like all the paintings being modern. Guys, I'm gonna fall through that trapdoor before this is over with. I just know it. These are all pretty huge. Is there a smaller one? There might not be. Yeah, these are all pretty big. There we go. Nice, pleasant elk painting. There goes the trapdoor again. Okay, I'm just gonna float it. And then, actually no, that's pretty close. Let me see if it needs to be adjusted. Yeah, okay, it was floating. It was hard to tell. I'm gonna lower this one just a bit. A very nice, pleasant waiting area. Let's see, I'm trying to think of where the lettering is. There we go. Food, guns, ingredients, loot, weapons. Okay. I'm gonna actually have it say free loot. And I'll place some caps and some valuable objects like gold. Free loot. And before I place our new props, let's just test the trapdoor. Yep, still works. You fall right down, possibly into a saw blade, but right down into the arena. While we head back up and around, let's take a second to just take a break from the free loot room and fix a couple of these railings up here while I am looking at them. And I think we've got a concrete miscellaneous. There we go. We can find our railings. I'm going to have to go buy more steel. This concrete and steel construction has been burning through all of my steel supplies. What's he doing over there? I'll just use this one right here to finish off this railing. There we go. I think we need some, yeah, up here at the guard tower. Will this actually snap? It will. But not there for some reason. Come on, snap. That's fine. I will put this up here instead. Oh, let me up. Oh no, let me up. Oh well. Around we go. I guess you could use a piece of railing right there too. I don't think I'm gonna detail a whole lot in these guard towers because I don't really need it. Maybe a chair and like a locker for weapons. Yeah, a locker for weapons I think would do it. Okay. And one ammo box. You guys can see how my builds get out of control. Try to convince myself I don't need XYZ, and then there I go. Oh, and you actually need that railing back there too. Where's that locker? I'll just put a gun bag down for back here. And I'll put the locker only in that one tower back here. Now a piece of railing and a chair, and that guard tower will be done too. Will it snap? It'll snap. Aluminum is expensive. I'm gonna put like a crappy chair up here. Well, that's pretty crappy indeed. A broken guard chair. You guys can see that I've got a mod that actually adds spotlight shadows for all the spotlights. They're casting real dynamic shadows. It looks pretty sweet. What are you guys up to back here? Trying to remember where you're supposed to be. Oh, you're supposed to be assigned to the stage back in the Pleasure Palace on Pleasure Island. But the game is actually unloading the cell that contains a lot of Pleasure Island. I'll peek over the hill here. Yeah, you guys can see, you can still see some of those vacation houses that I added to that build. But the main house itself is just that old broken shell, and the amphitheater and a bunch of the stuff has been unloaded as the game tries to deal with everything that I've added on this side of the island. But that's one of the reasons that I do really appreciate this game engine, is because you can push it really hard, and for the most part, it'll just take the abuse. Get rid of that flickering from that floor. Toggle our lights off. And I'm gonna sleep for just a bit here, guys. Because I wanna build in the daylight where you guys can see. I'm looking right here. I think we have enough light just to finish our loot pile. We'll do that first. No radios, nothing fancy. Just a very nice living room. That is 100% a trap. Signed baseball card. Now, this is not the actual one. It's just a fake prop. I think it uses cloth to make it. A generic glowing key. I have no golden lighters left. Cap's stash. Now we're talking. And some ammo. Some pre-war money, just in case that's your thing. Turn on my light so we can actually see a bit better here. Oh, and I lost my place in the workshop. Let's go back. There we go. I think these are my actual subway tokens. That one is most definitely floating. So let's not place too many of those. A fake wedding ring. We'll put that down here too. Silver shroud photo. Nice box of cigars. Ooh, a gold pocket watch. Yes. I think all that leaves is caps. I'm trying to remember where the actual cap prop is. Is it under household? No, but a nice picture frame is. We'll do one more table here with a vase on it, just to add to the effect. I'll go ahead and place it. I'm not entirely sure where caps are. Entertainment. Oh, I bet they're under entertainment. Okay, I lied. One more look here before we move on. The Nebula from Hell. Board game. I don't think that'll actually fit anywhere. Ooh, the Mr. Handy model that I found. I can't place those here, guys. Those are for me. I am keeping them. I will put down my Vault Tech lunchbox, though. A luck bobblehead. That is perfect. Now, these, again, are just fake props. So, they're most definitely not any kind of cheat items because they don't do anything other than cost you some plastic. Let's do a nice small table. An end table. Put that vase right on top. My shadows are starting to freak out there, but there you have it, guys. The free loot table. Okay, that was a great idea. I love this. That's fantastic. With the rug just slightly over the edge. Get all kinds of caps and keys and all that good stuff. Only to fall right through and into the arena. Aha! Possible victim. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sleep through the night. And we'll see what we can get up to next. Maybe finish that food area. Actually, guys, I'm going to interrupt myself here. And we're going to take a break as I drink swamp water through the floor. What is that? I ended up detailing the concession stand as well as the cargo area here at the cage for about another hour, and that's going to be a nasty render and upload. So I'm going to split the video right here, and you guys should keep an eye out for part 3 where I finish that final detailing here at the cage. As always, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.